Alright, timestamp is June 7th, 2025. Almost 10 p.m. I just finished up lunch, dinner. My meals are weird. I had soup. Um, so there's a whole bunch of about to expire, about to go past Best By date, um, Best Before date, Uh, I think it's Progresso soup or whatever in the pantry. 'Cause, my parents stock up on things and then never use it. Um, Not a big fan of the brand. Their soups are always kind of bland, but I know that, so I dress them up a little bit. I think it was like chickpea or something like that. It's like chickpea with chicken and a little bit of veg, and like it was still okay. It wasn't like I'm eating expired food. I smelled it and whatnot. Seemed okay, even though it was like a month or two out. But canned soup, it typically lasts a while. Um, Added some extra veg and like a bouillon cube or two just to try and give it some kind of flavor, some Italian seasoning, because it was okay. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I'm making this by the gallon from now on. My world has changed. It was all right. Um, I've got these little glass bowls. I forget what they're called, but they're like the size that you would like put a sauce or a dipping sauce or something like that in. And those are kind of what I serve him in. So I let it cool a little bit because it was hot. He was looking at me with great sadness because he knows the glass bowls by now. So he's like, "All right, I'm getting mine, yeah." And then he watched me go over and put it in the fridge, and he's like, "Okay, did I did I do something wrong? Why is that not like on the floor for me? Did I did I screw up?" I felt bad. I'm like, "Buddy, it's if I give it to you now, you will burn things because you do not know how to show restraint." So, but yeah, there was a little bit of sadness. And I didn't even serve myself right away. I, put it in a bowl next to the burner on the stove and let it sit there for a hot minute. Because there would have been pain. It was very much a piccolo player. It was piping hot. Um, so, The History of My Meals by Marcus Wolfgang. So today I've just been getting stuff done. Laundry, I went through a bunch of boxes, totes, and stuff that are in the garage, trying to kind of clear a path so that I can get stuff done. Um, my dad called earlier, so I'm going to go on record and say that one of the best and worst things that I could have done for him when I was there yesterday was getting his phone, finding his phone, which had not been stolen. It had in fact been put on the charger in the common room, apparently by staff, which I would like it if they did not put it in the common room on the charger. He has a nightstand by his bed, and he has his own charger. That would be a great place to do that. That way one of the other residents doesn't walk off with it. Um, Personal preference. But yeah, because he was certain that his phone had been stolen. Persecutorial attitude or what have you. I forget how his doctor put it, but it's part of the whole paranoia dementia thing. Um, I got hugs and slaps on the shoulder and all kinds of, "Oh, I'm so glad you found this." And part of it I do understand. He has, bless him, he has footage of he and mom interacting in the hospital from like a couple months ago. And he watches that daily, and I don't even want to ask how many times a day. And I get it. I do. But yeah, the best and the worst thing that I could have done was getting him his phone in hand, charged, functional. He's going to call me every day. He's going to call me every day, and we're going to have the same conversation over and over. He wanted to know if I was coming today, and I said, Dad, I'm going to be there maybe once a week, because I'm trying to handle the stuff that you and Mom didn't get done. Because the state of Florida is telling me to get the stuff done. That's part of the arrangement is I'm so close to being done with whatever this is. Been taking the Mulligan and vitamin C. Had a very tall glass of orange juice today, just kind of because it's nutritious and yummy, and the vitamin C is definitely going to do me good. But I've still got a little bit of whatever this is, just tickling the back of my throat. But part of the state of Florida thing was, and I mean, Mom's gone now. They were going to bring charges against her for not getting Dad the medical attention he was supposed to be getting, and for not getting safety and health issues taken care of around the house. Because the issue there was, if you are his caregiver and you are acknowledging that he is in fact incompetent, which we now definitely agree with you, you know, it was kind of gray. It was that whole, well, he's saying that he's okay, you know, but then neither one of you are getting it done. But then as it went on, it was kind of a, okay, yeah, no, Fred's not actually okay. He can't make his own decisions. So you're the caregiver? Oh, okay. See, you're the reason things aren't getting done. And that's something that it's not, Dad gets it and also kind of doesn't get it. Because he's kind of got that, why can't they just butt out? You know, why are they meddling in our affairs? And it's like, okay, because you're in an unsafe, unhealthy condition and nothing's being done about it. And yeah, I want my government to step in and go, okay, this isn't actually okay. I don't want them to, you know, tell me what I can and can't do in the bedroom, or what my kids are allowed to, you know, what video games are allowed to play or whatnot. I don't need that. But if there's an actual problem, I want my government to actually do something. But there is a line, you know. But explaining to my dad, you know, they were about to bring charges against Mom. That was on the table. It's like, well, you know, she normally handles all that. I'm like, yes, and she wasn't, and that's why the state of Florida was getting mad. And that's why they said, you're the kid, right? You have POA on the paperwork and stuff? Okay, you need to go ahead and step up and do the job, because your mom isn't. Which is why I'm here. Ta-da! And I know my dad gets it, and then again, he doesn't. You know what I mean? But yeah, there are certain pieces of paperwork and some keys that are missing from the important stuff that we need to try and get done category. And I mentioned this to my dad, and I'm like, you know, we need this, this is missing, we're trying to do this, and we can't because of this. And I said, you know, do you know where any of that is? And he said, I know where that is, actually. I know where I put that. I hid that. And I was like, okay, cool. I need to know where it is. And he's like, no, I'm gonna keep that secret for now. You need to get me out of here. When I come home, I can help with the cleaning and the stuff. I'm like, that's not a negotiation thing. It's not going to happen. The state of Florida is mad because you, like the lanai ceiling that, if a good breeze hits it, is going to collapse. That was Hurricane Milton in October. We're now in June. You were home until the beginning of May. From, I think it was late October. Yeah, we'll say November. From November through April, you didn't fix it. if you're working a job and your boss says, or in this case it's common sense, but your boss were to say, hey, this project, you got 2 weeks, I need you to get it done. 2 weeks is enough time to figure it out and get it done. In this case, we're talking about what? November, December, January, February, March, April, 6 months. You got 6 months. Unofficially, you were on the case. You were on the job for 6 months. When you don't get that project done or completed, don't be surprised when you get fired. If that's one of the main things you're being tasked with, yeah, you're going to get fired. You're going to get fired, especially when at the end of the 2 weeks they say, okay, you're not done on it. What are your plans? Do you need more time? And you give them the same excuse that you gave them a week ago, 9 days ago. They're going to look at you and go, okay, so you've done nothing. This is apparently too complex for you to handle. I'm going to get somebody else. Thank you for your time. We'll pay you for the 2 weeks. Good luck to you in the future. That's if you have a nice boss. But he has this, well, when I come home, I'll help you get that done. It's like, Dad, you're not coming home. I mean, I hate to be the guy to explain it to you for the 14th time, but you're not coming home. You're not. I'm trying to get you into a VA facility, which I think will be better for you than the place you're at. I know you're having a bad time there. I get it. You feel like you're in jail. I get it. It's a pretty nice facility. My main, and people the staff keeps getting into his clothing and stuff and taking his clothing. Yeah, they're doing his laundry. And he came back to his room today apparently, and his clothes were folded on his bed and not in his bag. It's like, yeah, that's probably your fresh laundry that they just did, and they brought it back and put it on the bed so that you could put it away where you wanted to put it away. Well, why'd they do that? Because it was dirty, and now it is clean. My only two real beefs with the place. Acorn, knock it off. Not a husky. One, they have TVs in the common room, and they're always going. If somebody understands this one, please put it in like the comments or throw me a DM or something, because I'm confused. They seem to have gone like heavy with the blue or purple tint on the picture. It's not like normal picture, how you can like do saturations and colors and stuff like that. It's got a heavy blue tint every screen. It's really strange. I don't know why you would do that. And there's not a lot of activity. It's like they've got the common rooms, they've got some book lending and the TVs, but there's not a lot going on to entertain the residents. They do occasionally have live musicians, which is interesting. It's interesting if they would do that. Mostly a singer with like a box kind of thing, like almost a street busker. He's an older guy. I've seen him a couple times now. Nice voice. It's good. Latin-esque. Cool. So there's boredom for the residents, and you can see it, that are more engaged with the world around them. There are some residents there that just kind of stare at the wall, and you can tell, okay, you're not even here at the moment. I get it. You don't necessarily need to entertain them because it would be wasted effort. You know what I mean? They're not really receiving signals from planet Earth currently. But I feel like there's not a lot going on for the ones that are more interactive. The other big problem I have, and this may get some hate, fine, is 90% of the staff speak Spanish and Spanish only. Number one, you've got residents there that don't speak Spanish. I know because I've watched them have confusion. My dad doesn't speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish either. But I have great respect for cultures of the world. I grew up with Federation thinking. If you know me, I very much wish the world had a more Federation mindset, a way of being. We need to stop killing each other and understand, you know what, we're all different, we're allowed to be. That's pretty simple. Put down the rifle. If you don't like what they're saying, walk away. My problem here is, for the Spanish residents, no problem, great. You need at least a couple people on staff at all times, because I've been there on 2 occasions and not been able to find anybody but the girl at the front desk who was bilingual. You got like 6 nurses and other staff running around. Nobody there. One spoke kind of broken English, and we used a phone to translate back and forth. How are you taking care of business? Half of your residents are pasty white. How does that work? And again, this is where I know there's going to be some hate, and just deal with it. Look, my family came over from Germany. I'm 3rd generation. Some of them came over from Czechoslovakia, and I think I'm 4th generation there. Some of them spoke German and Czech and not English. Some. They learned English. And if you're in a service industry where you're going to be dealing with people that don't necessarily speak Spanish, I feel like there should be a requirement almost that you at least can speak some English. Because otherwise, I don't know how you're doing your job effectively. I don't know how you're interacting with your patients. I don't know how that works. I feel like at some point something's going to get missed. Because you're really not able to tune into what's going on, and you're not able to, give commands, hear complaints. The communication barrier is a problem if you're in nursing, I think. My other micro complaint, this is complaint 2.5. It's almost a subpoint. I have made it very clear to the English-speaking staff that my dad is not to be underestimated. I cannot get that across to the Spanish-speaking employees. There are a few people there that just stare off at the wall. My dad is doing PT, walking the halls and whatnot to stay physically in shape and active. He's doing push-ups. He's doing all that stuff to stay active, which, good. I don't want you breaking down. I want you to stay strong and healthy. Part of it is he's trying to make sure that he's healthy so that when he makes his escape, he's competent to get it done. And he kind of let me know that yesterday when I was there. Just like he's on the lookout for a Phillips screwdriver or something that he can use as a Phillips screwdriver, because he knows where all the security boxes and alarm systems and all that are. And he's kind of working on his own exit strategy. Which, if he were being held third world detention center, cool, go dad. But he's not. In the same way that he is planning on calling the governor to have the governor get him set free because he's been incarcerated. It's like, Dad, you're in a medical facility because you have dementia. They're holding me against my will. In actuality, I put you here. Because if I didn't do something, the state was going to put you in a state home. Well, they have no right to do that. Yeah, actually, they do. They can. They can. I went to court for guardianship of you to prevent all of that from happening. Otherwise, Mom would still be dead, probably have been dead sooner, and the state would have ripped you out of the house and put you in whatever hellhole caught their fancy, wherever they had a bed, and a big man with a whip. Okay, I'm making that last part up, but you get the gist. So, we're going to have this conversation daily, I think, until somebody steals his cell phone again or he forgets to charge it. So, I'm glad and also horrified at what I've done. Yeah. Took my glasses off. How long have I been yapping? Ooh, jeez. So yeah, that's where that part is. Got a fair amount done around here. Still not ready for the Orkin Man. That's gonna take a couple weeks. It just is. There's just a lot of carnage here. A whole lot of carnage. I'm trying to dig my way through it. On the bright side, I did, as a treat to myself, I did spend a little bit over $1,000. A little bit. And I got a really great deal on something, and it's on the way, or it's about to be on the way. It's being prepped to be shipped. When it gets here, I'll show you. But we've got enough money to be okay for 6 months plus, tucked away. So, and I warned Pixie that I was going to treat myself to something. Now I just have to. This is a little bit of a hint. Now I just have to create. I know where I'm gonna put it. I need to create the room so that I can place it. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm hoping that I don't get backlash from my girl, but I warned her. She said, "Yeah, I understand. It's fine. It's cool." So hopefully, when it gets here, she's not like, "What have you done?" But I didn't spend like $10,000 or anything like that. It was got a really good deal on it. And from what I can tell, it's in really, really good shape. So I'm kind of excited about that. It's going to be a few days. It's coming from New Mexico, I think. So it's going to take a minute. Anyway, I am going to walk the Acorn. I got some stuff for the burn barrel because I am going to mention this before I sign off. I found a stack of folders in a tote in the garage. Pocket folder, the whole, you open it up and there's pocket here, duotang, so you can attach notebook paper, like you'd have for school. I found a stack of at least 15 of those. And each one on the outside is labeled with the name of a grocery store or a restaurant. Like, this is my parents were talking about. So, Village Inn, Cracker Barrel, Cheddar's. I don't know if they have those. I don't know what they have where you're watching from. Those are restaurants. Every store you can imagine. Publix, Dollar General, Walmart, Target, Big Lots, Ollie's. There's 15 of these, maybe 20, with receipts. Now I do keep my receipts too. If there's something on there that I can write off, because my wife and I do run a company, we do run a business. Um, and if it's something that I think I might have to return, I might hang on to the receipt until I use the item. These are receipts from 27 were receipts from 2017, 2018, 2019. There were a few from like 2023, but most of them date back even further. They're in a bag to go in the burn barrel. My wife's always saying my mom never found a piece of paper she didn't want to keep. Why? Why? So, I don't get it. I mean, looking around the house. Yep, I know how this happened. But, man, just defies common sense. You know what I mean? Absolutely defies common sense. Some more of the Harry and David chocolate peanut butter. I think I'd make a pot of that tonight. Earlier, because this is my third pot of coffee today. I don't care if you lecture me. There are worse things I could be drinking all day. Earlier today, though, I was just pounding the Harry and David breakfast blend. It's kind of a good staple, like house coffee. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna walk the acorn, throw a bag in the burn barrel, flambe, brown and flip, and I'm gonna take a shower, I think. I'm actually a little bit of a sweaty beast because I was working in the garage, and the garage is, my dad's very proud, it's really well insulated. Yes, it is. And it is now June in Florida. Boy, is it well insulated. Thanks, Pop. So it's probably like 103 out there with no air movement, so it's a little steamy. So yeah, so I feel sticky. I'm gonna grab a shower, and I've had classic Doctor Who going on in the background most of the day. Oh, something else I did. Man, the rabbits are real. Something I did want to mention for my fellow Federation dorks out there. I don't think I've told you this, and I think I had mentioned that I was curious about this. I had been watching. There's a start on the Roku. There's a Star Trek channel, and it plays, apparently, allegedly, Next Generation and Classic Series. That's pretty much its gig. It runs through, all 3 seasons, and then all 7 seasons. And there was the, I don't even know what to call it. The question of when they begin Classic Series, what will they begin with? I had that question, and I'm willing to bet that some of you who understand the topic would probably go, oh yeah. And I know that some people knee-jerk would say the Menagerie, which, yes, it is a retelling of The Cage-ish. But the Menagerie, when they did use the footage from The Cage, was like middle of season 1, I think. It was like episode 16 or some nonsense. So, starting with the Menagerie, and I have seen some people that say you should start with that. I get it. Personally, I think you should start with Where No Man Has Gone Before. And if you know, you might understand my thinking between Enterprise staff and uniforms. To me, it makes sense to make that a first episode. But after All Good Things, it went right into Mantrap. Question and answer. So, which, yeah, I think from an air date standpoint is correct. But to me, personally, I would start with Where No Man Has Gone Before. That's where I'd go. That's just me. Anywho's, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I have yapped enough. I'm gonna walk the acorn, take a shower. I might get a little bit more stuff done before I take that shower. The hose off will feel good after the stickiness, though. Yeah. Grab a nap. See what happens. Yeah. Best and worst thing. Honestly, if he does pound the governor's office by, via cell phone, I think it's hilarious. But tell him to put on his go-go boots and come down here and rescue him. Go for it. To quote Gene, "What have I done?" Make it a great day.